back, everyone, to the Antisocial Gaming Podcast. It's great to have you guys with us. If you're joining us on YouTube, welcome. If you guys are listening to the audio of this, welcome as well. We have a fantastic episode. Joined with Zua. Hello,
What's
Zoo.
up, guys? How's it going? How you been?
All of our socials are linked down below on the screen there that you guys can see. They're also all linked down below if you guys want to go follow us. Zua's info is all linked down below as well.
Yeah,
Go check
also,
that out.
Happy New Year, guys. Hope you guys had a good holiday.
Absolutely.
You know,
Let us know in the comments what you guys did.
yeah, I'd love to know.
We're gonna keep it very topical, very, very short and concise. This time around. Two things that we're gonna go over. Activision. They are finally property of Microsoft. Well, pending some small legal stuff. But the way we confirm this is that Bobby Kotick, he's gone. He's finito. He is vapor and dust in the terms of the Microsoft world.
Thank
And
God.
and the day before, you might remember that incredible game, absolutely action-packed, top-tier AAA quality that everyone's come to know and love. Oh man, where do we begin with that one? But it's not so much about just the day before. What repercussions does games such as the day before have on the gaming industry? So, I think we start with that one. I think that's a great place to start.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, if you guys watched episode 1, we did talk about the day before as well, and all of the sketchy stuff that they pulled. They ended up basically lying about the game. They called it an MMO survival, type of game, and it ended up basically being like a really weird extraction shooter type sort of game. So that's a lie.
It was everything Tarkov is backwards. They did it all wrong.
Yeah, right.
And they could have copied it word for word, and people would have been like, "Oh, this is pretty fun." No, they
This is a bad
fucked it
Tarkov
up.
expansion.
Yeah, no, it was bad.
So they went ahead, a lot of hate, stuff like that, and they went ahead. This is wild. They ended up putting out a statement saying, "Dear community, we regret to inform you that the development company Fantastic has officially ceased operations, and a result the day before will be retired, and servers will be turned off the 22nd of January 2024. Why not just turn it off now? Why do you make us wait another 20 days to do so?" Anyways, Mytona was the investor. They said that in collaboration with Steam to facilitate refunds for all game purchases, people that have not already had the refund, Steam will proactively refund. Basically, they shut the entire game down. One of the biggest scams in gaming history, without a doubt.
It's definitely up there.
It's definitely up there.
I can't think of anything that's bigger.
I wouldn't call, people would probably put, Cyberpunk, or they would put No Man's Sky. But they weren't necessarily scams. They just were lies about how well the game was done. Was the game ready? All of that type of stuff. And, to be fair, they faced enough criticism. I don't even know the last time a game was effectively pulled from a store, like a company or a games platform decided to pull a title like Cyberpunk. That was the PlayStation Store, which was unheard of for the time. Cyberpunk, one of the biggest comeback stories in gaming history. They literally took that game from the ashes and rebuilt it.
Yeah, and Cyberpunk, we kind of figured it would. Listen, when Cyberpunk came out, I loved it. I played it even though it was all glitchy. I enjoyed it, and there was actually a story there, right? There was a game. What the fuck was this? It was it was terrible. It was I don't even know. Have you been on the subreddit? It's just gone to hell. There's no moderation anymore. It's just the most random shit now.
I've heard that mods are trying to kind of like turn the game into what it is, but I mean, there's no point. Stop wasting time on it. It's like it's beating a dead horse at this point. But that kind of leads me into this kind of topic and games in general, especially Steam games, games released on PC, stuff like that, are releasing in this early alpha, pre-beta phase. And they're staying in it for a very, very, very long time. And I'm going to use Fortnite as an example because the game's actually technically still in beta phase. It's been in beta phase for, what?
Ever.
5 years? 7 years?
2018.
Years?
2018 it came out.
Okay, so that's...
Well, so 2018 was Battle Royale. They had the Save the World. I don't know when
I think Save the World's gone.
Out.
I don't even think that thing's even...
It
I don't
is.
even think it
Yeah,
exists.
I also didn't mind Save the World. It was okay. I never spent money on it like some other fucking idiots, but it wasn't terrible. It was a story.
Kind of.
Within the game,
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But no, yeah, that game's been in beta since 2018.
But I think
whenever Save the World came
Fortnite's
out.
a perfect example of a game that they did it right. They made the game free. And they made all their money off microtransactions, battle pass, DLC, that type of stuff.
But Fortnite also ruined gaming, I feel, with microtransactions and battle passes, because now we get games like COD that go, yeah, we don't need prestiging, we'll just do battle passes because that's what people want. When it doesn't. There's no. So in a game like Fortnite, you need a battle pass in order to, give players a reason for playing. Call of Duty never needed that. Excuse me. And even games like Battlefield has one. Like, what's the point? That you didn't need a reason to play them. You just played them because you wanted to level up and be better. And then now it's, well, it is what it is, sort of thing on COD. We're never gonna get a classic Call of Duty.
Yeah, but to my point though about games releasing in pre-alpha, it's becoming more and more common. A game like the day before was not anywhere close to even being eligible to release, but it seems that companies are using the pre-alpha side of things as an excuse to basically release a crap game. And they go, oh well, it's pre-alpha. It's as patches grow, the game's gonna get better and better and better and better. And the whole entire time they're like, now these guys are just a bunch of idiots, that are buying the game. We don't really care. We'll take a year between patches or whatever and barely do anything to the game. And there are companies like that.
Oh, absolutely. But I think pre-alpha also helps a lot of companies for, smaller developers. So, like I said, Tarkov, that game has been in pre-alpha for a very long time. And it's a small dev group, and they're able to make money off of the pre-alpha and improve it. But there was something to build on. I didn't play it when it first came out, but there's always been something to build on that game. I feel there's a core there that's good, and they can grow.
Yeah, but I mean, there becomes a point in time where you've earned your millions of dollars in these things and stuff like that, right? There comes a point where it's time to start seeking outward investment. If you've got a game that's generating millions and millions of players monthly, there's obviously a fan base there, right?
Yeah.
You can go and get acquired. You can go and seek external investment to actually grow your game. The problem is that it's becoming too much of a standard. And let me preface this. AAA studios that do this crap are not exempt from this, because I'm not just blaming companies that are indie that do pre-alpha and stuff like that. AAA studios do this as well. But the problem is that it's becoming too much of a precedent in the gaming world, and no one's holding them accountable for doing this. And in a way, you do have to blame these indie studios that continue not pushing to actually get their game to full release. Right? You can continue patching it after full release, but actually go ahead and put the money into the game and make it good. Right? Get the game to a full release to the point where you can actually charge a realistic price for the game and then recoup. Right? Like Tarkov is a perfect example. The game is not bad. It needs polishing.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's in the best state that it's ever been in at this
so
point.
The game at this
patch.
point should be getting investment in order to do that polishing and then releasing the game.
So what I'm gonna keep using Tarkov because it's just on my head right now. What I did like about Tarkov is they have their versions, right? So when you first started playing Tarkov, or when I first started playing, they had the base version, and then there was like in betweens, and then there was EOD version, right, which was $120. So I bought that base version on sale for like $30 maybe to make sure I liked the game. But they also, when this was years ago, the EOD people got more when a wipe happened, so you got more stuff on your inventory. So it gave you a reason to purchase it, but also gave you a reason to support them more. Now it's just you get like more space, right, in your stash compared to the base model. You know, but I like that. You know, if you want to support the game, you really like it, like buy the more expensive version. I don't see an issue with that, but they don't hinder you in any way, you know what I mean?
So Tarkov, how many copies have they sold?
That is a good question.
I have it here.
Oh.
Tarkov made more than 50 million for sales in 2020, and it's only going up. $50 million. Do you know it made 50 million? That's not what it grossed. That's what it made $50 million back in 2020. Do you know that most AAA games have a budget of between 80 and maybe $200 million? If it's grossing 50 million a year, or netting 50 million a year, it has operating money. It has no excuse to be as jank of a game as it is, from what I hear. And again, I could be speaking out of tone because I don't play the game.
It has been updated, and it isn't janky in the way it is. And they are, so I do want to defend them. They keep their studio at 80 people. So it's a small studio.
80 people is a big studio.
Nah.
Most studios acquired by a publisher have anywhere between 80 and maybe 140 people.
Yeah.
80 is not 80's 80 you're not really indie at that point. You're almost a full established studio.
So I'm not saying that they're indie now. They were when they started. It was not 80 people when they started, but that's what happens with growth.
Asobo, when they did their very first game, had like 30 people. And that included doing the voices and the motion capture. They actually didn't even they had the director do most of their stuff. So, I mean, that's an indie studio. And it was it was backed by Focus because they needed a publisher because they don't have the money to publish. I mean, now they're not considered. They have over 200 people. They're not considered an indie studio at all by any means now. So at 80 to 100 people, you're not an indie studio at this point. Like you gotta. There comes a point where you have to say this game is no longer alpha. You can't hide behind that. Like you can't hide behind glitches and scandals and all this stuff by saying it's an alpha, it's in beta. Like you can't. You have to remove that tag. And that's the point I'm trying to make. I'm not crapping on Tarkov or using Tarkov as an example of a game that's very popular, very successful, but it's still running that beta tag or that alpha tag as a reason to, either continue to push support, you know. So it's just it seems to be such a trend in gaming that it's there comes a
Okay,
point where it needs to move.
so we are a little wrong. So they launched closed alpha on August 4th, 2016. They are in closed beta 2017. So they did get out of that alpha phase.
I mean, I'm looking. They're still in closed beta.
Yeah, and it's gonna until it's a full release, it will stay closed beta because you can't. They're not giving away keys for the game because there's already cheater issues.
Been more than 6 years technically.
Yeah.
There comes a point where you need $50 million, 100 people probably at this point. You need to move on. You need to move on. You're not. Your game is not in dire straits. But it's sorry Tarkov, sorry people that are Tarkov fans, but I mean it's just it's the game that Zua chose, so I mean it's his fault. But I mean it's a game with a perfect example because it's literally a game. I mean Fortnite's a perfect example. They're just stupid. Let's just be honest with you. The game is not in beta. It's not even in closed beta. The game has been a full release for 5 years. I don't care what anyone says. That's a game that's just milking it, and they refuse to release it as a full game. I don't know if it's just a marketing stunt at this point or what, but like, and that's what I think it is for Tarkov. I think it's a marketing stunt. They're like, oh, closed beta, cool. Let's just keep buying founders packs or whatever. You know, it's weird, and I think that it's something that's going to hurt the industry more and more and more because people are just they're gonna see games like that, games that are $1 billion games such as Fortnite doing it, and they're gonna go, well, we can do it. If they can get away with it for almost a decade, so can we.
What about a game I just thought of? PUBG, is that still considered
I don't
beta?
know if that
Is
is
that full
because it's
release?
released to console now, so I don't think it's technically. But Battlegrounds was in Battlegrounds is finally out of beta
Yeah,
as of 2022.
and that game came out in 2017.
So 5.5 years.
Yeah, wow, 2022, 2 years ago. Jesus.
So I mean, it came out. It had to be out of beta by the time it came to console. Because I don't know what Xbox does, but I know Sony does not like doing games that are in beta as full releases. I think it's in their terms. Like the game has to be in a full playable state, or else they will not release it. I don't know how Fortnite gets away with it. But actually, to be fair, honestly, to be fair with Fortnite, I haven't fired up Fortnite in like 2 years, so I don't know what the loading screen says. The loading screen used to say it was like beta in the top right corner. So I don't know if that says that now to this day. They very well could have taken it out of there, or they just took it off the screen, just for whatever reason. But from what I know, is Fortnite is still in a beta.
Yeah, as far as I know, I haven't seen anything saying that it wasn't.
It is no longer in beta on mobile devices.
Fortnite's on mobile?
Oh yeah, it's been on mobile forever.
Oh, jeez.
Hold on, let me see here what it's saying. Ah, that's why.
Mm.
Sony and Microsoft want updates tested and balancement for performance. Epic doesn't want to do it, so they put it as beta. That's why. So the game's been fully released for 5 years, but they don't
Yeah,
want to have to answer to Sony and Xbox. At
makes
least that's what
sense.
people are saying. I don't know what the truth is to that. Obviously, I don't work for Sony or Xbox, so
Or Epic.
I mean, I don't care about Epic. They have a garbage launcher, so I don't really care.
Yeah, they do.
All right. So, I think for the next little bit, let's jump into
Talk about Big
the
Bobby.
big Bob. Big Bob, he
Big Bob.
got big payout is what he did. That's the only reason he's big. Tiny
I
man.
take a payout like that.
Well, as of 4 days ago, we're a little late to the party.
At time of recording this, so.
Yeah, Zua was drunk and partying on New Year's.
I wanted to record this on the 30th, but someone worked all day.
Life's a bitch, then you die.
Yeah.
So as of 4 days ago, Bobby Kotic's last day at Activision Blizzard after almost 33 years. That's impressive. How many people can say they were with the same company for 33 years? It was part of the acquisition that he did have to step down after the $69 billion acquisition. Nice. But I mean, his tenure was not without controversy. I mean, there was lots of
Yeah.
comments made. We will just say that because none of it was proven. Nothing was really proven. There was things that were said. They even said that once threatened to have an employee killed, which led to an admission of guilt. And an out-of-court settlement by Bobby Kotick. So, scumbag. Who not only banked so much money based off his shares that he also had the what's called quote unquote the golden parachute, which for being removed from his position garners him a minimum of $15 million along with his share buyouts, which I think was like something like $48 million.
He received $400 million from his
Something,
share of
yeah.
Activision Blizzard.
Holy crap!
And
I said 40 million. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Holy
400.
crap! Yeah, 400
And-
million. That's what it was. I
and,
was like, that didn't sound right.
Brian Kelly, who was the chairman, got $100 million.
Should have bought shares in Xbox. No, or in Activision. So, is he the worst CEO in gaming history? I mean, let's get interesting. Is he the worst CEO in gaming history? Like, if you really think about it, who has managed to take an entire franchise called Overwatch that was worth hundreds of millions of dollars, had franchises all over the world that paid tens of millions of dollars, which is something I think they paid like $45 million a spot for an Overwatch spot or something like that.
Yeah,
something like outrageous, and essentially burned that entire league to the ground.
Yeah, and then look at what else they did with Call of Duty.
Yep.
They not only did it with Overwatch, they doubled down and said, "Yeah, we're gonna do it with Call of Duty too," and just fucking destroy it.
I mean, to be fair, it's not as bad with Call of Duty. They did not have to pay out every single Overwatch team in order to close the league. I think they had to pay $15 million or something, or $20 million to pay out every single team. There was a lot of Overwatch teams. What was the actual buyout amount on here? Buyout. What did they pay them? $20 million per slot. Oh, no, that's what they paid. $6 million buyout per team. The Toronto Defiant were the first team to take it back in November, saving $6 million in the process. Yeah, then take a $6 million US buyout.
Yeah, I wonder what's gonna be.
They took $6 million. I don't know if that was for every team. That's the only team that I can see that's actually publicly said that it was. But like I had heard anywhere from like I'd heard north of like $20 million to buy out certain teams. I don't know if that's like major teams like Shanghai and stuff like that. But yeah, one man managed to destroy a league that was literally doing what 9 figures every year.
Yep.
How do you do that?
You're
Incredible.
dumbass.
Basically.
They took out all the competitive.
So they did it with Call of Duty too. There's no competitive. I don't want to use integrity, but there's nobody gives a fuck. It's gonna be the same teams, the same players in the league. There's no one that's up and coming that's gonna overtake them because they're all salaried. They have to pay these guys salaries. So the one great thing about Call of Duty is you could have had an open bracket at MLG when MLG was a thing, which is another company that went under. When MLG was a thing, there was the pro teams, and then they had the open bracket, and you would get teams that came out of open bracket to play the pro teams, and it was interesting, right? You don't get any of that now. It's just pro teams playing, and then Call of Duty has a Challengers League, which nobody cares about because they're never gonna make it into the league,
Mm-hmm.
So it's all that they fucked it all up. There's no way to say it, but any better than that. You know what I mean? They fucked it up.
He even penned a goodbye letter on the last day of his 32-year tenure. Social media weighed in on his legacy, which includes accusation of contributing to a toxic, discriminatory workplace environment, writing a tone-deaf email pretending to be a woman at Activision Bliss, responding to those accusations, and costing the Overwatch 2 dev team months of development. Oh wait, he wrote his own email and then responded to it. That's incredible. Wow, how stupid can you be? One guy shared he was a dev on Overwatch. He basically said that he warned them months in advance that they were going to get review bombed and begged for more resources in order to prevent that, including moderation and stuff, and basically removed it. And yeah, it was 100% review bombed. It was the worst rated game on Steam, and then it's since fell to the second worst spot, which we can probably guess is the first worst spot.
Oh, I wonder, is it the day before? No way.
Maybe, I don't know. I actually genuinely don't know.
Can I see that? Let me see if I can look that up.
But I guess the conversation is it the beginning of the end for Activision Blizzard? Like, is Xbox just gonna kind of go, oh well, let's just get rid of everyone and move on?
Well,
I mean, like, let's face it, they paid almost $70 billion for this company. They got to make their money back somehow. So they're definitely better off without them. That's for damn sure.
So this is hilarious, actually. The worst rated game on Steam is called War of the Three Kingdoms. It's a Chinese game, and it has 44,000 negative reviews. I can't read the ones in Chinese, but the only one I saw, right? I saw 2 in English, but the first one I see is just all these check marks about it not being in English, and then I'm like, yeah, that's bad. A lot of these are just people that tried a Chinese game and go, yeah, it was bad. All the ones in English are that. I don't know about the ones in Chinese. But then you have Overwatch, which has 230,000 total votes, and 15% are positive.
Oh man.
And then you have
That's
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Not doing good.
incredible.
I don't know. I think a lot of bad games though that are on here are console games that get put on. Like Call of Duty was always going to be on there. COD wasn't a console game, but it's always going to be on there. Everyone's going to hate on it, right? NBA 2K24 is on there. That always gets hated on. Excuse me. So Overwatch being the most disliked game is just hilarious. It doesn't surprise me though. Excuse me.
I mean, I'm not surprised because a bunch of people that were programmers came out and said that his decisions just basically ruined that franchise. So,
Yep. Well, hey, hopefully we get some classic CODs now. Hey, the one good thing about Microsoft actually owning, Activision is all old COD servers are back on Xbox.
yeah, it's funny how it's only on
So,
Xbox
well,
and
doesn't
PC,
surprise me. Yeah,
supposedly.
A PC, it's always going to be on because there's mods. You have Pro Mod, so there always will be a server, at least one server. Yeah.
Well, they started from the minute that happened. They started, what's the word that I'm looking for? Striking the mod
Yep.
games, the ones that you can do
Yep.
the modded, not the modded servers.
The games that were like modded versions of Call of Duty that were released that were better versions of COD.
They basically just were playable,
Yeah.
but they sent like a bunch of cease and desists in order to
Yep. Shut
make
it
that
down.
stop working. So
They shut it down. No, they're no fun.
they're no fun. Oh boy.
Yeah. Who knows? But yeah.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out how bad he is. We'll figure it out with how much Activision actually improves with how bad he was. You know what I mean?
I don't think
If
they'll improve.
No?
No. I think they are stuck in their old ways.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. Who knows?
Best Buy is removing all physical media.
Yes, they are. I saw that.
How stupid
That's
is
sad.
that?
That's sad. My wife's goal was always to have a nice DVD collection. I'm like, well, I guess that's not happening.
Dude, pawn shops exist for a reason.
Then it's gonna be inflated.
No, it's not. You can walk into a pawn shop and buy like rows of DVDs for like dollars each,
I don't even know
or
where
just burn them yourself.
Well, yeah. I don't even know where the closest pawn shop is to me.
If you do that sort of thing, I don't. I can't be bothered. I just buy them.
Yeah, I'm looking at the nearest pawn shop. I've never been in a pawn shop.
Really?
Yeah.
I go in looking for retro games. Oh man.
There was a store near me that sold retro games. Fucking way up there in prices. I was like, yeah, makes sense. So yeah. Oh man.
Says video games will not be impacted. Interesting.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
I love this. To state the obvious, the way we watch movies and TV shows is much different than today.
Yeah.
What's hilarious
Yeah.
is the fact that they're doing that, and Netflix wants to open a retail store
Yeah. Does Netflix not remember?
like
Yeah.
Blockbuster.
What they killed? Let's open a retail store. Why would I go out and get Netflix? They're probably gonna put fucking, oh, you can only use this at your house and not someone else's on there. The hell out of here, dude.
It says Best Buy earned 274 million US or $1.25 per share during the second quarter of 2023. But it was still below the 306 million US. So that supposedly was part of their decision where it says sales from physical stores and digital channels fell 6.3%, and that was in the digital or declines in computing and appliances and entertainment category.
Well, what I don't get, why are you even taking them off the shelves? Just try and sell your inventory and then don't restock it.
They'll put them online. No, the reason being is that it's floor space. Okay, so someone who literally works in retail. Well, I mean, I work for, and the reason they pull media is if it doesn't sell, it's taking up space per linear square foot.
Yep.
So if they look at it and go, oh well, we're not going to sell through, whatever it is called, across all their stores, 50,000 pieces of media. Because I mean that's not an unreasonable number to say. They're gonna go, well, we could put another 8-foot section or 12-foot section of headphones or laptops.
Something that they do sell.
And they'll go, well, we have a 60% sell-through rate or 70% sell-through rate of headphones.
Yep. Okay.
That,
So yeah,
that,
that makes sense.
that warrants another 4-foot section.
Yep.
Sort of thing like that. So that's why they would pull them, right? So
Instead of being dead space, they're gonna. Yeah, that makes sense.
why do you think things get put on clearance that actually or are discontinued that aren't discontinued? Because they're trying to get rid of them. They don't want them to sit in the warehouse, so they try and blow them out at a loss.
Just to get rid of it.
Just to get rid of it, because it won't do them any good sitting in a warehouse collecting dust, and then they put them on clearance online, hoping that someone orders them.
Yep.
You're better off to put them on clearance in a store where someone walks by and goes, that.
Yeah, I feel like that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there eventually just draws a point where they sit there and go, how much did we pay for all of this? We paid like 1.2 cents because we ordered like 50,000 of them. I'll just scrap them.
Yeah. That's the way it is with any company. I mean, I'm in electrical. I work for $1 billion company. That you finish a job,
So
why would I send it back? Right? Why would I like
So I'm in the office right now because there's no work for me to do. So I'm in there and I'm seeing what some of these guys send back, and I took it out, I threw it away. There's no point in us sitting on it for an inventory where we have all these tools and everything. Like I don't need plate covers for receptacles, right? Like you don't need that. Just throw it away. Nobody cares, Nobody's gonna use it. Just get rid of it.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, all right.
Alrighty. I think that pretty much
Wraps it up.
That pretty much sums up everything. That was a little impromptu thing that I saw. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of interesting stuff. Stuff's always happening. I know we talk about gaming on here, but like, I like just talking in the world of just like electronics and stuff in general. I mean, that all kind of falls into place. Physical media, that type of stuff. So, if you guys want to see us go off the rails a little bit, let us know because we'll go off the rails.
Yeah, I talk about everything.
We talk about everything. We just won't get political.
No.
So,
people already do that.
Alrighty.
All right.
Signing off until the next episode. We will see you guys next one.
Yep.
Peace.